Hi guys, welcome. We are going to be giving some extra attention today to the shoulders. So if you've been sitting at a computer and hunched over, then the shoulder opener poses will be the right practice for you today. So you might need a few props. They aren't required, but if you have yoga blocks, those can be helpful. Also, you might want to grab a blanket or towel to pad your knees when we are on our knees on the mat. And then we will get started in child's pose. So come to hands and knees, tabletop. Bring the knees to the width of the mat, big toes touch, and then drop the hips down toward the heels, forehead to the mat. You can also place a block or towel or pillow under the forehead. And if your hips don't meet your heels, you can place a prop between the hips and heels. So play around with that until you find a comfortable shape. And start to lengthen the breath. Lift the forearms, press back into the palms, sitting the hips back a little deeper. Maybe come up onto fingertips, and then relax the shoulders. Starting to feel that stretch in the front of the shoulders, maybe the tops of the shoulders. And then release the palms. Inhale, come forward to tabletop. Walk the knees back. Come down onto your forearms and then release the crown of the head. Puppy dog pose. Hips are over knees, and then press up onto the hands so you're lifting the elbows. This might be a deeper sensation in the shoulders. Hug the belly in, hip points come up and back, and then maybe the chest drops a little lower. And now you might start to feel something in the backs of the shoulders, in the shoulder blades. Breathe into it. And with your exhale, melt the heart toward the mat. On the next inhale, come forward to tabletop position. Realign the shoulders over the wrists. Knees are hip width distance. On the inhale, left arm lifts, follow the fingertips up. And on the exhale, draw the hand through, thread it through the arm, under that right arm, coming down onto the back of the left shoulder. Walk the right hand forward about a handprint and start to gently press back, lifting the hips back. You might notice a deepening of the pose, the back of the shoulder. Steady the breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. As you inhale, walk the hand back under the shoulder, press up, open the left arm, sweep it up, and then exhale, place it back down, shake out the hips, realign. And then come back to stillness in neutral tabletop. On the inhale, right arm opens, and as you exhale, come down onto the back of that right shoulder this time. Left hand comes forward, press back. Maybe start to rock over onto the back of the head. No strain in the neck though. Let go of any over-efforting here. This is about being good to yourself. So find a place where you feel a gentle stretch, and it's a place of ease, not effort. Walk the left hand back under the shoulder. Inhale, press up, open the right arm. And exhale, release back, tabletop position, shake out the hips. Make your way forward onto your belly. Forearms are in front of you. Zip up the legs, press into the tops of the feet. The kneecaps might lift. Shoulders are directly over the elbows. And then start to hug the belly in, press into the hip points. Lengthen forward and then slightly up. This is more about gaining length than pressing up. And if you feel anything in the low back, come down off of the pose. Take care of you today. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Turn onto one cheek. Bring the left arm out by your side, straight out from the shoulder. And then start to rock over onto the left hip. You can use that right hand as support. And notice where you feel sensation. If you'd like to take it a little deeper, bend the right knee and place the sole of the right foot behind the left knee. And then as you exhale, roll back down onto your belly. Bring that left hand under your shoulder. Right arm extends out. Palm is to the floor. Start to roll over onto that right hip this time. Right ear is to the mat. Your head is resting comfortably. Maybe bend the left knee. Place the sole of the left foot on the floor or mat behind you. And do a little exploring here. Maybe rock back a little further. And find that point where you feel the opening, but you're not stressing the joint. And then inhale, come back to center all the way onto your belly. Press into the hands. Come up onto hands and knees. Sit back for a child's pose, counter pose. Wag the hips side to side. Inhale, come forward to tabletop and make your way to a seat. Find a comfortable seat. You can sit up on the edge of a block or on the edge of your towel. Drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Bring the left fingertips out to the side and start to crawl the fingertips away from the hip. Notice the lengthening from the top of the shoulder to the ear. And then crawl the left hand back in, rise up, take it to the other side. Left ear, left shoulder, right fingertips come out, and start to walk them away from your body. Feeling that stretch alongside the right of the neck, maybe the top of the shoulder. Then bring breath to that part of your body. As you inhale, you might feel it lengthen a little more. As you exhale, notice the softening. Walk the hand back in. Inhale, rise up. On the inhale, lift the shoulders up, back, and down. Take a few more rolls. Syncing your breath with the movement. And then reverse directions. And release down. Make your way to tabletop. Walk the hands about a handprint in front of you. Tuck the toes under and lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Upside down V. Keep a soft bend in the knees. Lift the hips high and drop the chest toward your thighs. Shake the head yes. Shake the head no. And then release so the crown of the head points down towards your mat. Maybe lift the hips a little higher. Start to straighten the legs. Heels drop toward the mat. They don't have to touch. Inhale, come up onto your toes. Hug the belly in and tiptoe slowly to the front of the mat. When you get there, bend the knees and fold over. Grab opposite elbows and sway your torso side to side. Keep weight in the fronts of the feet. Hips lift high. Crown of the head drops. And then release the fingertips to the mat. Bend the knees deeply and slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming to standing mountain pose. Palms face out. Check that your feet are hip width distance. Toes are slightly turned in. On the inhale, reach the arms around and up. Lift the gaze to the fingertips and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach around and up. Maybe come to your toes, lifting up high. Reach a little higher. Release the heels and exhale, hands, heart center. Bring the arms open to the sides. Sweep the left arm under the right. Cross the arms. You can grab opposite palms, or if that's not comfortable, opposite shoulders. So don't force it. Find what works for you. Maybe lift the elbows a little higher and notice what happens to the backs of your shoulders when you do that. Maybe press the forearms away and explore. Where do you feel that when you make those small changes? Slowly unwind the arms and shimmy out the shoulders. Shake it out. On the inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, hands down the midline, heart center. Arms come to the sides. Draw that right arm under this time. Cross. Grab opposite palms or shoulders. Start to lift the elbows. Press the wrists toward the front of the mat. And breathe in and out deeply through the nose. Lengthen that exhale to match the inhale. This should feel good. In yoga, we want to feel good. So find that place where you're between effort and ease. Slowly unwind the arms, release, shake it out. And on the inhale, reach the arms up. On the exhale, bend the knees with a flat back, fold forward. Inhale, hands to shins, lift halfway, lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to a high plank, top of a push-up. Hold here, option to drop to knees. Same benefit, modify to fit your practice. Drop to forearms. You can be on toes or knees for forearm plank. Isometrically draw the hands towards your body to engage the core. And maybe start to walk the toes in, lift the hips for dolphin pose. Press the forearms away and create space between the ears and tops of the shoulders. Relax the head and neck. Hug the belly in. You can keep a soft bend in the knees if there's any strain in your low back. Release slowly to the knees and set the hips back for child's pose. On your next inhale, come forward to tabletop position. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose and open the mouth, sigh it out. Release some of that heat. Always the option to take child's pose. Rest when you need to. On the inhale, lift to toes, tiptoe to the front of the mat. Bend the knees, release, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, lift halfway, shoulders draw down the back. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root into the feet, reach around and up. Maybe the gaze comes up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Tadasana, mountain pose. Palms face forward, chest is lifted. And hug the low ribs in. Arms to the sides. Left arm sweeps under right, crisscross. Lift the elbows, press forearms away. So we have eagle arms. Option to bend the knees. Sink into the hips, so sit your hips back for chair pose. Maybe bring the weight into the right foot, lift that left knee and cross the leg over. Hug the thighs together and plant the toes on the mat on the other side. From here, sink a little deeper. And maybe start to play with your balance by lifting those left toes. Or even wrapping the left toes around the shin. Your practice. Inhale, press up. And exhale, shake it out. Tadasana, mountain pose, reset. Slow the breath. Maybe notice the heart beating. Inhale, open the arms. This time, right arm draws under, left crisscross. Lift elbows, press forearms away. Stay here again. Option to bend the knees and sink the hips into a chair pose. Maybe weight into the left foot. Start to lift that right leg up, cross it over. Toes plant on the mat, or play with your balance. Maybe the toes come up and down. Practicing wherever you are. So sometimes being good to yourself and taking care of yourself means challenging yourself, building that balance, building that strength. And then inhale, press up, unwind, shake it out. Tadasana, mountain pose. On the inhale, arms sweep around and up. And exhale with a flat back, bent knees, fold forward. On the inhale, lift halfway. Lengthen the spine, tailbone lifts. And exhale, fold, release. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to a high plank. You can drop to knees here. We'll all drop to forearms for forearm plank, either toes or knees. Hips are in line with shoulders, and the heels press back. Find your breath. Stay here, or start to crawl the toes in toward the elbows. Hips lift, dolphin pose. So we've been here before. Press the forearms away. Maybe the hips come a little higher. Release the knees. Bring the knees to the width of the mat. Big toes touch. And take a child's pose. Forehead to the mat. Rest the forearms. Breathe into the back body. Maybe take the wrists alongside the ankles and surrender the shoulders. They've been doing a lot today. And if you have the wrists back by the ankles, bring them forward. Press up to tabletop position. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Reset in your downward facing dog. You can also be on hands and knees for any of these poses. On the inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, draw the knee in, shoulders over wrists, step the foot between the hands. You can give it help with that right hand. Maybe widen your stance for balance, and then slowly rise up, arms lift. And as you exhale, drop the shoulders down. Maybe widen the arms to make space. Inhale, reach up through the fingertips. And on the exhale, open twist to the right. Drop the back hand to the thigh, flip the front palm. Start to hug in toward the midline. And then lift that left hand up. Gaze comes to the fingertips. You can also keep it down. Maybe you start to shake a little bit. And then exhale, come back to your twist. Inhale, rise to center. And on the exhale, frame the front foot. Step back to a high plank. Drop to forearms, modify to knees, if that's in your practice. And then maybe again, crawl the toes in, lift the hips, dolphin pose. Release the knees, take a child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Stay here or meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, draw the knee in, belly lifts, step the foot between the hands, and maybe widen that right foot a bit so you have more space and balance. As you inhale, press up, high lunge. As you inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, twist to the left. Reach the fingertips in opposite directions. Drop the back hand, flip the front palm, lift up. Gaze comes up. Squeeze the belly in. Notice what happens to your stability when you do that. Release back down to your twist. Inhale, rise back to center. And on the exhale, frame the front foot. Step back to a high plank, hips up and back to downward facing dog. Always the option to flow through your vinyasa if that's in your practice. Inhale, come forward to plank, drop the knees, and make your way to a seat. Lift the arms, cactus them, press the elbows back, heart lifts, and then lift the gaze to that space where the ceiling and wall meet. Start to draw the belly in, heart stays lifted. And then exhale, release it all down, shimmy out the shoulders, beautiful. Bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat in front of you. Bring the hands behind you, the fingertips face forward. Feet are about hips width distance apart. Press into the feet. Lift the hips. Reverse table. Slight tuck in the chin. So don't drop the neck back. You want to protect that cervical spine. Squeeze the glutes. Rise a little higher. And then exhale, lower back down. Hug it in, round, nose to knees. And reach back with a hand between the shoulder blades. Give yourself a pat on the back. We will make our way down onto our back, slowly releasing, hug knees into chest. Rock side to side. That should feel really good on your low back. Come back to center. Drop the soles of the feet to the mat. Arms are long by your sides. So you have a choice here. You can either go into an active bridge pose, which I will cue, or if you have a yoga block or a pillow, you can go into a restorative bridge pose. So let me cue that one first. With a restorative bridge, you'll lift the hips, place the block or pillow under the sacrum. That's the small bony plate at the base of your spine. And then release the hips onto the block and completely melt into the block, surrender the back body. If you'd like a more active pose, soles of the feet to the mat, start to isometrically draw the inner thighs toward each other, arms by your sides, palms face down. Press into the feet, lift the hips, lift the belly. Gently press into the back of the skull. Keep breathing and opening across the heart space. As you exhale, tuck the pelvis and lower one vertebrae at a time. And when you get to the mat, draw the knees in, squeeze them in. If you're in a supported bridge, press up, remove the block, set it aside. come down and meet us, knees to chest. And then come back to center. Cactus or T the arms. Drop the knees to the right for a twist. That left shoulder blade hugs the mat. Gaze can be off to the right, maybe straight up. Inhale back to center. And exhale to the left. Keep breathing into wherever you feel the sensation. Maybe the hips, maybe the chest, front of the shoulder. And inhale, come back to center. Extend the legs on the mat. Bring them nice and wide, toes splay open. Bring the arms beside you. Make space under the arms. Palms face up. Gently tuck the shoulder blades underneath you. Close the eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold it at the top. And then open the mouth, let it all go. Final relaxation, Shavasana. You are worth the quiet moment. You are worth the deeper breath. You are worth the time it takes to slow down, be still, and rest. I invite you to stay in Shavasana if you would like. If you are ready to reawaken, start to gently wiggle toes, wiggle fingers. Stretch the arms long overhead and feet in opposite direction. Taking a good morning stretch. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, hug knees into chest. Roll over onto either side and pause in a fetal position. Press up to a comfortable seat, and when you get there, close the eyes. Draw hands to heart center. Lift up a little taller. Relax the shoulders down. Deep breath in through the nose, hold it at the top. And then open the mouth, sigh it out. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.